The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hey, welcome everyone to this week's rendition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Update. Each week, we give you the goings-on from the towns and villages around the areas that we cover. That's right. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and that's what we're doing. So right now, I'm actually going to start by reading a message from Maggie Ridge, the mayor of Scottsville, and she says the Historic Preservation Committee prepared and mailed out a letter of guidance to the homes on Rochester Street, itemizing the protocols for proposed changes to their property. The village sent out invoices for the extra refuse recycling totes. We encountered some pushback, but as tipping prices increase, our goal was to make the extra charges fair and equitable. We reminded the residents that the annual charge, $80 a year per tote, was nominal compared to contracting the service from a private carrier. Met with the Trail Towns Committee in Canawagas Park and discussed the best locations for signs, kiosks, the bike repair station, and other ideas. We also invited someone from Monroe County to discuss ways to mitigate the odors coming from the pump station, which was a surprisingly easy fix. Senator Gallivan's office asked the village to collect items, including non-perishable items, for the victims of the Buffalo mass shooting, and Scottsville stepped up and did just that. Food, diapers, and other necessities were picked up on Thursday. The Memorial Day ceremonies were solemn and meaningful, as well as being a lovely day for a parade, friends, fellowship, and barbecues. And that's all from Maggie Ridge on the village of Scottsville. Let's turn it over to John Moffett, supervisor of Mendon. John, how are we doing in Mendon today?
Fine, Chris. Glad to be here and glad that we're into the warmer part of our seasons. I think everybody's been out enjoying various things. The Mendon Fire Department's carnival, which took place recently, was a big success. Weather cooperated very nicely. So I think everyone's looking forward to being outdoors and seeing a regular schedule of events as we progress through the summer. Our next town board meeting is Monday, June 13th. And we will, one of the things we'll be talking about is the work on the highway, Mendon town roads. The highway superintendent provides us with a list of roads and cost analysis back in January. And to do those same roads, we're finding out that it's going to cost $50,000 more. So we will be in, I'll be submitting a budget transfer for the consideration of the town board, because we want to make sure we still do those roads. When you get out of cycle, that's when the roads really start to deteriorate. So we want to make sure we stay on cycle with the roads that need repair. And as I mentioned, they are going to cost $50,000 more than we thought, due to, all the increases in when we oil and stone. Of course, that's a petroleum product, and every time we fill up our gas tanks, we find out that the price of gas has gone up. Also, the highway department, we found there was a piece on one of the news stations recently that just to put the trucks on the road to do their work, hauling stone, picking up brush, all those kinds of things. We found that we're quickly using our budget that we had allotted for fuel for those vehicles. And so we're taking a look at that. I'm working with the highway superintendent on that to make sure that we're addressing that from a standpoint of the expense. From the revenue side, a little bit of good news is that we've seen an uptick in sales tax revenue that's come into the town. So hopefully one will offset the other, and we'll be keeping an eye on this as everyone does. We're working on the septic system for the spray park. As you can imagine, that's a fairly elaborate system that's going to have to be in place for the spray park. So we're working on that, modifying with the engineer what type of septic system will be in there. And we'll begin working with a contractor in the very near future. The military memorial work should be starting in the next few weeks. I'll keep you apprised of that. As I mentioned last week, we did award the contract for the spray park, and that will be lagging a little bit behind the memorial, but I would anticipate everything should be done by fall, assuming, as sound like a broken record, but assuming everyone can get the supplies that are necessary. We're also working on a rabies event that will include recycling for this fall. We're looking at a date in October. We've been in touch with Monroe County. We've been in touch with a veterinarian. And so this will be the first ever rabies event that'll be for dogs and cats. You'll hear more from that from me in the future, as well as what type of recycling. I do have the pharmaceuticals through the Monroe County Sheriff's Department. They are going to be here for that. Any drugs that you have in the house that are expired or unused, that they'll be able to be turned in, and that's in October. The last thing I want to talk about is broadband. There is an initiative at the county level for broadband throughout the county, and that there is going to be a survey that'll be around for individuals to fill out online, as well as paper surveys. I know the paper surveys are going to be available at the library if they're not already, and we'll get some information out about the online survey. So I took part in a little webinar about this, and the speed, if they're talking some pretty fast speeds. So I think that would be a welcome to our community as well as the rest of Monroe County. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, John. Well, Mike Falk is busy getting set up for the German Festival, which is occurring Sunday. And he sent me the following report. The town of Lima has sent a formal request to the New York State Department of Transportation to initiate the study to place a crosswalk on Rochester Street in the vicinity of Gale Road. There's a lot of pedestrian crossing going on there, and the traffic is quite fast. If the study determines that a crosswalk is appropriate, then ADA accessible sidewalk work will have to be done at the town's cost, as the state does not have the budget for it. At the June 7th Lima Town Board meeting, Coney Construction was awarded the contract for the roof replacement on the highway garage. ACES will be the solar contractor on the project, as we have to remove and reinstall the solar array to facilitate the roof work. There was also a joint meeting of the village with the village on June 7th. It was decided to combine the town and village cleanup days next year, pooling our resources to collect for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday townwide, including the village. This will also include an electronics collection. Look for more on that next spring. The mural painting starts on June 14th. The unveiling will be on June 9th at 11 a.m. Come on out and watch the artwork unfold. So June 9th would have been last Thursday. So that's when the unveiling was. The mural will be on the south side of Johnny B's. There will be a Civil War reenactment at Mark Tubbs Park on June 24th, 25th, and 26th. The reenactors will be setting up living history camps and having skirmishes. Stop by to see what life was like back then. July 4th at Mark Tubbs Park, festivities will include games starting at 6 p.m. on July 4th, concluding with the free fireworks show at 9:30 p.m. VFW Post 26 will be providing refreshments as usual. Finally, save the dates for the annual Crossroads Festival, August 4th through 7th. Same route for the townwide parade on August 4th at 5 p.m. It will be published in the Sentinel as we get closer. And that's all from Mike Falk. Anything more you have to add, John? No, well, thank you all for watching. Thank you, John, for being here. Thank the other mayors and supervisors for providing their information. Remember, every Sunday at 1 o'clock, this show airs on our Facebook page. You can like it and you'll be notified when it starts. Same thing on our YouTube channel. You subscribe to that and you'll be notified when the show starts there. Other than that, you can read about it in the paper next week. Bye-bye for now.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.